Morning.
Welcome.
Hang on one sec. Okay. I'm very easily distractible this morning, so I'm going to blame you on this one.
Shiny balls, squirrels. Yeah, it's my fault. It's true. I keep telling her to go check out things, and she does. And then
Yeah, because we don't talk enough. So it's like, 2 minutes before we go live, she's like, oh, check out this website. And then I went, squirrel. So that
but
was
we're
your fault.
here. Woo! Yes.
Yes.
And I have to say, I'm gonna tell. I have to say, I haven't felt great. Like I off and on, as you know, I cough all the time, right? And it goes in spurts. Like I'll cough for like 2 months, and then I'll have a month that I don't cough. So there's no rhyme or reason to. Am I allergic to something? Because it's not like it's just random, and I don't know what it is.
And you've done everything. You've done trials of eliminating different foods and drinks and stuff. So yeah, you've done all that stuff.
And it's really, for those of you who know what it's like, if you have anything like it, it's really awkward because when you're out and you're coughing, everyone thinks you have COVID.
Yes.
So it's very uncomfortable to go into a store and I can feel it and there's a tickle and I can feel it and I'm like, oh, here we go. And sometimes it's like, it's so much coughing that you think you're not going to survive it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so yesterday, the personal care worker I was talking to said, it could be allergies. And I go, yeah, but what? Right? Who's got weird random allergies? And she's like, have you tried anything? I said, like pills, or I go, no. And she goes, go buy Arius. It's one of so she said, go buy Arius and try it. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, Arius is supposed to be like 24 hours, non-drowsy. Like takes care of your allergies.
So I bought it. I guess I bought the 12-hour one, but I bought it and I took it last night I took it at 5:00. And it was the first time ever that I didn't cough all night. Ever. And I was like, what? And so weirdly, I got up this morning and I'm like, usually the first thing in the morning, I'm coughing crazy again. I just cough all the time and nothing. And I was shocked and I was like, okay, this works. So of course I said, okay, I'm going to take this right before the show. And then of course I forgot the box at the other house at the cottage. So don't have it. But what was interesting is, and I know you guys are going, why are you talking about this? But what's interesting, because there's other people just like me. So what's interesting is somebody texted me that I was talking about the coughing and they said, well, it's probably bronchial. And I'm like, what do you mean? I had bronchitis as a kid. I used to get shots. And I said, I've been coughing really since I had pneumonia about 6 or 7 years ago. And they're like, well, bronchitis can be related. It's bronchial allergies or something, allergic bronchitis, something like that.
I did not know that was a thing.
So it could be, seasonal allergies. It can be dust. It can be, whatever, vapors, whatever can set it off. And I think it's right. So I'm kind of excited because this is the first day I took the pill. Like I said, I didn't cough last night. It's the first day that my chest hasn't hurt when I woke up.
Really? So it must be, I didn't know that allergies would sit in there, and anybody who's in the health world, let us know what the heck.
Yeah. I wanted to share that because if you haven't ever tried it, and usually I try everything.
Yeah.
I just never thought about trying an allergy pill because it never even occurred to me. I thought that was people who, had hay fever and stuff. Right?
Well, that's why I never thought of it either. I always think of people who are like sinus stuff, like they're allergic to grass or like you said, hay fever, like
red eyes,
knees
and stuff.
Because that's what they show on TV. Those are the commercials. Like,
so I read the Arius box and it said like the dry cough, and I was like, hey, that's me. I don't have anything else, but okay. So, anyways, public service announcement.
That's interesting. The
reason I wanted to say it is because I haven't felt like this in months and months.
That's awesome.
So there is, so now of course I have to stop at a store on the way down and buy, because I'm going down to Toronto today, and I have to buy some because I forgot them. But the good news is I can actually maybe go out in public and not cough all over the place and have people like,
Yeah.
thinking that
Well,
I
it's true, and it's hard to go into a place because my son, we were going to Walmart over the weekend. We had to pick up a couple of things, and he goes, "Hang on," and I said, "Why?" And he goes, "I have to sneeze." And he
oh,
goes, "But I don't want to go. I don't want to sneeze in there because I'm going to be taken out by security." Like, that's how you
true.
feel right
It
now.
is true. It is true. So I mean, I'm really excited about feeling better, and
Yes.
it's kind of a great.
Now, does it help you sleep?
Well, yeah, because I wasn't coughing.
That's awesome.
So
I'm
my
excited.
routine for those of you who are really interested is I don't go to sleep. I go into my bed at like by 11. I go in my bed. If I
Yeah.
don't sleep, I usually read because I read Apple News all the time. And then by 12, I'm like, okay, I gotta sleep. I gotta figure this out because I try to tire myself out. But I use, as we've talked about before, I put on Matthew McConaughey on the Calm app. Again, still have never made my way through his whole bedtime
Yeah.
story. So
That's what I should have done last night. I
yeah,
did not use him last night. I have with me, I have a couple of meditations that have stringed together.
yeah.
And last night I just could not get to sleep to save my life. I went through one, and never heard that whole one I did last night. And then I have a second one that if I wake up, it just kind of puts me back to sleep. I heard that whole thing, which I'd never heard before.
See?
And then it went into it. I'm like, I should have put on Matthew because
Yeah.
I've never made it through all of Matthew.
No. So I mean, I slept 5 hours in a row, in a row.
Wow. You must be
So
like energetic today.
I feel like I've slept for like 4 weeks, like because the coughing is.
Wow.
I think the coughing exhausts you, right?
Of
And
course.
the other reason I'm talking about this is sometimes if you're not productive in what you're doing, and I've been a little bit not productive. I mean, I guess I should preface that because I think we've done a ton of work that would take
Been
people
productive.
probably years to do. But for me, I feel like it's not my usual pace.
Right.
And sometimes it's something like this, and you don't know it. You can't
Right.
pinpoint it. You just always feel not so good, or you always feel tired. And for me, one of the reasons that we're doing this summit in August is to figure out ways to make us feel better so that we are more productive, whether it's in work or personal life or whatever. And so I'm really excited because I really think that if you start recognizing it's a mental thing, if you start recognizing that there could actually be physical reasons,
Right.
it's not just mindset, it's not just being calm, it's not always meditation or yoga. It's also about understanding that, hey, there could be a physical piece involved, and that's it. And if this, I mean, it's really interesting to me because if I'm a smart girl and it's taken me years, and this might not be it. This is it for today, but I'm on a good path.
That's great. And you know what? Just sometimes it takes like one person to just drop a hint or whatever the case may be, where you go, could it be this? And, maybe it's not somebody you've talked to before or whatever the case may be. But I think the challenge with everything is that we just learn to live with it.
Right.
Right. And we forget what normal's like. Because, for example, if you have a pain in your shoulder, your back, or your arm, or your hand, you learn to live with it, that it becomes normal. And then somebody goes, that's not normal. Like you can actually fix it. And you're going, I don't know what it's like not to have this, because you incorporate it into your life.
And I can't say enough how that impacts you and your business and your
Absolutely.
work. And I think, there's a lot, like people might be listening today that are like, I want to do so much, but I'm so exhausted. I can't do it. And they don't know why. And, they're getting sleep or whatever. So, it could be very well be a physical piece. So if you really want to have your business succeed or your brand or do something new, you have to look after yourself first. And we were just talking about when I asked her to check out a website, we're just talking about doing a reset, basically kind of a cleanse, but one that's a little easier because
I don't like detoxes. I don't like ones where
unless it's digital.
I like that. Ones, yeah, exactly. No, I don't mind digital detoxes, but I don't like cleanses where you have to have a drink like 3 times a day and then that's it, because that resets your body, but it doesn't teach you anything.
Not interested.
Whatever. I'm not interested either. So
we're going to check this out, and then I think we're both going to do it, or I'm going to do it anyways in June. And then
we didn't have time because we had to go live.
So we'll bring you on the journey. We'll post every day, tell you how we're doing. And it's a really great way to kind of jumpstart for the summer, right? And it's a great way. I think if we like it, I'll do it again right before the summit, and we'll do some information to let you guys know, to be able to maybe that's all you need. Maybe you need a jumpstart, right? Maybe you need a jumpstart. We have we do a 1 hour coaching program called Jumpstart, Brand Jumpstart, and sometimes you just need an hour with a coach, right? You need an hour with a coach to go over your stuff and go, this is what you need to focus on, boom, boom, boom. And that's all you need. You don't need an extended, program. And so that's why we put it in, because that's what I need, right? I love Jumpstarts. I always love them. I'm all for it. If I want to try something new, I need to do a quick immersive piece on it, and then I'm good to go, right? And I think that's, I think it's interesting because part of, I haven't wanted to do any cardio exercises. I just do my yoga. I don't even want to walk, and I used to love walking a lot. And I think part of it was obviously is my capacity of coughing and lungs and everything else.
Absolutely, because the challenge with anything bronchial is if you're working out or whatever, you're going to cough more.
Yeah. So I guess that was holding me back, but now I'm going, okay, so if this works, this little jumpstart, which is a little pill, then that's my way to start moving back into the normal world, right? If you're stuck in your business and you're like, which way should I go? Maybe you just need an hour, right?
Well, it was very interesting. So speaking of that, so I was talking to a girl kind of sent me a note. She says, I know that you do some help with podcasting and training and stuff like that. I'm like, yep. She says, I'm really struggling. I want to start a podcast, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what my name should be for my show. I'm like, very simply, ask the audience.
Yeah.
Bring them into the conversation, because she's just recently done a summit, and her people are really they're really hot right now, right? They're really in, they loved it, that kind of stuff. And she goes, but I don't know what the name should be. And I'm like, you have a whole slew of people that loved your summit, loved the information that you were doing, loved your guests, loved your information. Why are you asking me?
Exactly.
No, I mean, obviously she reached out to me for a reason, but I can't tell you what the name of your show should be. I can help you later. And once you have that name, I can help every step along the way. I said, ask the audience. Yeah. So she was really reserved. It was very interesting. I was like, click. She's one of those people. Like I've told you before, sometimes I've had to do when I've done social media training, hand over hand.
Yeah.
Click the button to post.
Yeah.
So I sent her a note. I'm like, has it posted yet? And she's like, no, not yet. I'm not sure about it. Is it posted yet? And she's like, I'm just getting it ready. Click post.
Yeah. But that's what you need. You just sometimes need to talk to somebody for an hour, right?
Exactly.
Put them in that direction. So you can't, when you're in it, it's hard to see it. Right.
And that was her problem, is she was in it. And as soon as she posted, she sort of did as a poll exactly what I had said right in the beginning, what she had thought too, but it confirms it. Yeah. Right. Everybody voted for the one that she is going to go with, which is so it's just so interesting how we forget that we can do something for an hour. We can have a conversation with somebody to really gain some clarity on things. Ask the audience, ask your people, what do they think? What are their opinions? And then when you actually build it, they're part of the process.
Yeah. Well,
right? That's the biggest thing.
I had a 1 hour jumpstart with a client last week, and she was going down this path. She was made an offer and going down this path, and she could only see that. And I repositioned it and said, well, what about this? And all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's a way better fit, but you need somebody to show you.
Well, sometimes you get, so we were talking about, what were we talking about last week? Because I remember talking to my husband about it. Oh, travel. Travel for business. And my kids were involved in the conversation as well. And I was like, you know, they were like, and you get star-studded eyes and you're like, oh my God, I could travel. Oh, I could see the world. Oh, I'd like to see everything. And oh, doesn't it sound so glamorous? And go.
I traveled when I was doing global retail. I traveled every single month. 3 weeks out of the month. So I did 1 week in Europe, 1 week in Asia, 1 week in New York, and then 1 week home. And my kids were little. They were, and I was doing my MBA 2 and 3. And sometimes I would get off the plane from Tokyo and go right to class and then go home. So, but I will say,
I just don't know how you did it.
I don't know how I did it either. Like everyone that was doing it, the people that were doing similar jobs all lasted 18 months. I did it for 6 years. So, 6 years. It was very challenging. It was incredibly rewarding because I learned how to run businesses all over the world. However, you don't see anything. You see hotel, office, restaurant, don't think it's glamorous restaurant. It's because you're still working. You're with the people you work with, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's the restaurant downstairs in the hotel.
I was so happy when I didn't have anything one night. You know what I mean? Like one night I would just stay in my room and order room service. It was like the best thing in the whole world, but it didn't happen very often. And then I would get on my computer and back in the days of MSN, I would do homework with my kids on when they got a little bit older. So they were like 7 or whatever. And I would do homework with them. So it was, it's not glamorous. I think if I had to do it all again at this age, I would tell people to, if you can, stay an extra day and enjoy something. The problem is, usually when you're traveling for work, it's when you have small kids. So you'll do anything to get back earlier, right? You don't want to see anything. You just want to get back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I was in the same boat when I worked in corporate. I remember there was going to be some travel involved, and I was star-studded with, I get to travel. And then I realized that travel for business sometimes does not involve vacation mode. It involves you're in work, your work 24/7. So I think the challenge for me was, number one, I would if I went to a sales conference, I would have a roommate.
Right.
So there's no downtime.
No.
So from the time you go to bed, you're like literally still on. And then when you wake up in the morning at like 6, they're there and you're on. And then there's breakfast meetings and there's lunch meetings and there's dinner meetings. But everyone's like, wow, how was your trip? Well, I don't know. I saw the inside of a hotel.
Exactly.
I could have had this same experience in my hometown. Like you could have popped me anywhere in the world. You could literally put me through some sort of transporter.
Yeah.
And I could have been anywhere in the world. And it's the same. It's the same.
Happen to have a nice hotel room, hopefully. Well,
there are always lovely hotel rooms. It was always a fantastic service. Like there's no issue, but it's not glamorous in a sense that, we get to go and do. The only thing that I enjoyed with our sales meetings is the company would always do some sort of give back to the community.
Right.
So we would take the afternoon and we would go into the community and do something, whether it's garbage cleanup or we would fix some housing or, build some things or clean up a library at a local school or something like that. So we would always give back to the community. And that was always fun because at least you got to see what was part of the world. But other than that, I was in a hotel.
Yeah, there's no
not glamour.
Yeah, I mean, I think people, you mistaken travel with a promotion, but when you're working 24/7, I always say you make 20 cents an hour, right? like you because you don't stop working. You're continually working, no matter, you get up, you got your meetings, you go to dinners, you're usually late. So the only time you're not working is when you're sleeping. And that's it. And so, if you're willing to do that, to be able to jump on a plane, go for it. But other than that, it's just not what it's cut up to be. Anyways, however, if you're an entrepreneur or you own your own business,
Yeah.
Well, that's a different story because you're on
Yes.
your own time clock.
Yes.
You
That's
can do
different.
what you want, right? So if you want to flip over to, London and do a session, a training, or do some business there and spend a couple of days doing what you want, you can because it's your business. However, as I say that, you have the luxury, but as we know, entrepreneurs never rest; they just hustle, which is, unfortunate.
Yeah.
It's hard because if you ask a person who's been an entrepreneur their whole life their regrets, they'll say that I didn't spend enough time, enjoying my family, doing vacations, and agree. The problem is it's your business and you're trying to pay the bills, so you have to hustle. So is there a perfect world? Well, if you really want to enjoy your life, get a corporate job. If you're willing to make a certain amount of money for the rest of your life and you're very content with that, and you can take 5 weeks vacation and do this and do that, that's what you do. If entrepreneurs is not for the faint of heart.
No, it is not. But I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about the laptop lifestyle.
Yeah,
Right? You can work anywhere. You can work anywhere.
absolutely.
And I agree.
But
Yeah, there's a big but there. I do. I agree. Yes, absolutely. You can take your laptop and you can work anywhere in the world. But are you going to take the time when you were in that particular piece of the world to enjoy that piece of the world?
Right.
Or are you sitting on your laptop the entire time just with a different view outside your window?
Right.
So there has to be, I don't like the word balance. I don't believe that there is a balance,
No.
but I do believe in give and take and flexibility. So
yeah, it's a choice.
Exactly.
You make a choice. And like I made a choice. I used to work all the time, 24 hours a day. And that's just what I grew up in, and I still did it. And now I have our studio office, and I'm, 5 minutes away. And so I basically leave my laptop here all week. When I leave at the end of the day at 6 o'clock, I leave it here because if I take it with me, I will work.
Yep.
And I
Well,
can
that was a lot to be said.
do everything on your phone, but
no, absolutely. But there's a lot to be said for people who are now working from home who used to work in an office because of the changes with COVID.
Yeah.
That there's no off time.
No.
Because what they're doing is, having dinner, and it's like, oh, I can just respond to that one email. Oh, here's my laptop. I'll just grab it.
Yeah.
So good for you, because you do need the discipline to walk away. And to me, there's also a separation where I'm leaving work.
Right.
And now I'm in this mode.
Well, yeah, and you have to put together a strategy to do it. And that I had to figure out what would work for me. And the only thing that would work for me of not putting my laptop up is physically removing it from me and not in another room. I mean, that's really like if I was at home, I would probably have to lock it and give the key to somebody.
Yes.
Because I am not good with putting down my laptop. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, I can do research. That's what I do at night. Usually I'll just research stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but
your brain's still working and still functioning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend who did that.
I think you have to, what's the strategy for you? What can you set up? Because you are more productive if you're focused and if you're not so tired. So what strategy will work for you? And if you don't have a strategy, again, maybe you need to talk to somebody. I mean, it's that simple. I'm all for the reason we put up the whole, 1 hour jumpstart and 1 day coach is because I like one shot, immediate answers, and that's all I need. Yeah. I don't want to have a long story. So if you're like that, you can hook up with us. You can go to our work with us page. Yeah. But I mean, maybe that's all you need. And if I had known that when I'd started and somebody actually offered it, I would have loved that because I would have worked with them. But everyone at that time, they were big, long coaching, you have to sign up for 12 months and it's a ridiculous amount of money. And at the time when you first start, you can't afford it.
Right. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. And I don't want to necessarily sign up for big, long, 3-6 month packages.
Yeah.
I want to get my call. I want to get my action items. I want to do it and I want to get it done. And I want to move forward in my business.
Yeah.
I don't
and
want
it's not to say It's not to say the other ones aren't valid, because we do a
absolutely.
3-month mastermind, and it's very popular.
Yeah.
And because it's for, you don't want to do 12 months, but you want 3 months, but you want to be able to really work out through those 3 months. Even our visibility school, which is 8 weeks, it's coming up actually, July,
It is.
right? Even our visibility school, it's 8 weeks, and you're focused every single week on a different piece of training, and we coach you all along and follow you through. And that's important. And for some people, that is enough time frame. Some people need 3 months, and some people need 1 hour.
Right.
So we really wanted to make sure that we were covering what you need. We don't have a 12-month program because, to be perfectly honest,
We have a 6-month program.
No. So because if you're focused, I really enjoy people training and working with people that are focused on what they're trying to do. And if this is you, and sometimes you've signed up for something that's 12 months of coaching, and you think to yourself, oh, I have 12 months, I have lots of time, right?
Yeah. But when you think, I have an hour, what do I want to accomplish in that hour? Or I have a day. I have my one day. Here's what I'm going to focus on. And I've got them for an entire day. I'm going to get my stuff done and ready for that day.
Exactly.
Which is really important. So
yeah. So I'm going to bring up, do you have any topics, or can I bring up one more?
No, go ahead. The only thing I was going to bring up on your thing about the laptop and bringing it home, I have a friend who uses her phone, and she has to be very disciplined to turn her phone off at night.
Right.
So what she did is she put the screen time.
Yeah.
She enabled the screen time so it would turn off at a certain time. The problem is that she has the code.
Right.
So it defeats the purpose. So what I told her was, give me the code.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No, she didn't think so. She goes, because you won't give it to me.
No.
So she said she's going to give it to her sister, because her sister would be more likely to give it to her. And I went, well, then that again defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm on my phone all the time, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's a different. It's not working on it as much. However, why isn't my phone important? Well, because my kids, for texts. And if somebody has a really important email that something's happened and they need, like a few of our clients, then they text me, and then they say, please check your email, and then I'll check it on my phone. So, and for me, that's okay. I'm okay with all that, because I'm fairly disciplined on the other stuff. I mean, when I'm reading at night, I just read the news. I read the news all night long until I fall asleep, and then I do it in the morning because, as I said, some people scroll through TikTok, some people scroll through Reels. I scroll through Apple News. And people always
Apple News isn't all news.
No.
Right? There's like magazine articles and different things. So Apple News is a very encompassing term for everything. Like all.
And what I love about it, and if you haven't tried it, anyone out there, what I love about it is, again, they use the algorithm. So they're going to start sharing the news stories that you want to read about. And I like that, because there's some stuff I'm not interested in. And so it's, so what I wanted to talk about was you had texted me last night, and you said, you mentioned that someone who is very local just copied our stuff and was using our words, our colors, our everything on her brand.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to me because, initially, before 100 years ago, I used to get mad, right? Because everyone goes, well, I can't believe you just lifted everything. There's a difference between using it as inspiration, or using it as but like literally word by word,
directly copying.
And now it just kind of amuses me, because we know that when you copy, it's not going to work for you, because it's not your words. You can't even bring them out of your mouth because you didn't write them.
Right. So, and it's hard. You can tell when you are being I'll just say like a copycat, or you're using somebody else's word literally verbatim.
Yeah.
Right. I remember one time you gave advice to somebody about what to say on a video, and they used your words exactly, like verbatim. And it just sounds very awkward. Like she did a video, and on her video had our script and some of our wording and headings and stuff like that. And I'm like, but you could tell it's awkward coming out of her mouth, because it's not who she is. It's not the way she talks. It's the way we talk. Like it flows when we say it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and there's lots of places you can buy scripts. We buy scripts. Like we buy scripts as inspiration.
Yeah.
Or we don't really buy them. We watch them. And then we go, that's a great way of saying that. We'll use that. And then there's lots of places that you can actually buy scripts that people sell you. Go ahead, because they're for sale. Go ahead and use them. But like, it's kind
turn
of
them into your own.
It's kind of cheesy to copy it. And especially when you're like local, like you're not even like, maybe you were in Australia, we'd go, who cares? You know what I mean?
Right?
Far away, but you're local and you don't think people will notice. Anyway, shame on you.
Yeah.
Because and if you're advertising to help people, but you're using somebody else's words, how much help can you be?
And she does branding, which I think is very ironic.
Yeah, there you go.
Very ironic since she's using her words. And then she joined a networking group that I was part of. And then she joined where I spoke a few years ago. All of a sudden I see her there. So it's like, are you just me 3 years from, like, it was what I'm doing now going to be you 3 years from now? Like it's kind of
stalking you. What was that movie? Like with Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Single white female.
Single white female. Yeah, she's stalking you.
I know. It's kind of creepy.
It is very creepy. Anyway, there's again, you can absolutely use everybody's stuff. There's no new words. There's no new anything. But like give it your spin. Like give it like feel like it's yours. I talk very differently than someone else. And so if you're not going to have my twang, you're not going to have my word usage. If you're trying to copy it, it's not going to work. So, do your homework. And I think maybe you should take my speakeasy accelerator, because that will teach you how to actually use your own stuff and really, really be able to.
Well, be authentic. Like it's just who you are. Like, again, put your own spin on it. Say your own words. Bring your own personality into it. That's what everyone's teaching.
Yeah.
And then she went the opposite route, which I found really interesting. So.
Yeah. So just before we shut down, I think we got to leave soon. But we're doing the summit, and it's right at the end of July. It's all about 5 days to feeling fabulous in nature, in the forest. So if you have something that you do in nature that would be helpful and useful to people, whether it's journaling or meditation or gardening or just how to work, take your whatever digital stuff you have and work it outside to enjoy the impact and the all the great things that come out of being outside for a change, then we would love to talk to you about being a speaker. So we have our speaker page up, but just DM us on Instagram.
Or I'm going to put the link down below.
Because she's very fast. And you can go to our speaker page, fill out the information. We have a very huge bonus for our speakers, by the way. So, we want to obviously give back, say thank you for you being a speaker. So you'll be joining us in our huge visibility school in July, which is a massive, massive bonus. So if you're really interested, and the reason we're giving that back is because if you're good, for example, if you're a meditation teacher and you're saying, I really want to be part of it, and we know that you've got a great delivery, a great session, you'll really impact, but you just don't know how to get the word out, our visibility school will help you just as much as you help the people on the summit. So
exactly. Awesome. All right. Have a good one, and we will see you next week.
Bye.